What are you talking about, Mom?
All right, we're live. Hello, everybody. This is your friend Dave Gadhvi, and this is one more episode. This is episode number 5 of Millionaire Mastermind, which is Entrepreneur Mastermind, and you will become millionaire someday. I'm here as usual with one of my amazing partner in crime, answering your questions, Lily Ma. Lily, how are you doing today?
I am doing amazing. Hello, Karen Nation. I love it. Partner in crime. Yes. In
Yes,
legal things like entrepreneurship and startups.
of course,
That's
of
what we're
course.
going to be doing.
Absolutely. All right. So, guys, for people who have just joined in today for the first time, let me tell you the format of the show. We come every Tuesday. We come with certain questions that have been asked on Evan Carmichael's show or some other channels through my show, and we compile all those questions, which is focusing on the entrepreneurship, how you can get a better business opportunities, how you can grow your business, how you can start in business, everything to do with business and your entrepreneurship. So as usual, we have 4 questions today which Lily has brought to us, and we're going to ask some of those questions. Some second is my favorite. Okay, so Lily, I just went through those questions. Second is my favorite. So why don't we quickly dive into those questions, and we look forward to your participation if you're tuning in live, and if you have questions, just leave it in the chat because we will review your questions in the chat as well, and we will answer them at the end of the show as well. So Lily.
Amazing. I'm ready. I'm ready. So the first question comes from Jason. So Jason's asking, can you become an entrepreneur if you are bad at math?
Oh, okay. If you're bad at math, well, you don't need to know the square roots and permutations and combinations for sure. But if you have to make money, you should know how to calculate money and how you can multiply money. If you know the basics of addition, minus, division, I think you're good. Okay, you don't really have to be good at maths. You can always hire somebody to do your accounting. You can always hire somebody to do your books. What you need to really know is what is your profit margin? What is your profit? How much profit are you making from each product? Your services, are you selling more volume or are you playing on less quantity, high margin? Little bit of math and I think you're pretty good. I myself am not really great in math, though I'm a Gujarati and I'm supposed to be good at calculations. But I'm not good at math. Okay. So that's my quick 2 cents. Over to you, Lily.
Yes, I agree with you. I think it's important to understand the basics, but it's not absolutely important for you to learn extremely complicated calculus unless your business is about calculus. And if you're very in the tech world and you need to understand complicated mathematics, then you might want to consider if this is the industry you want to go into. Because here's the thing, I feel like everything can be learned. So if you wanted to teach yourself math, you can learn it. That's not a problem. Now, the question is, how much are you going to enjoy learning it? Are you going to have passion for it? And if you don't, then you're going to quit right away. Now, if the industry you're going into has nothing to do with math and the only thing that you really want to focus is on like profit margin and making sure that, I'm kind of thinking of the retail business. You want to think about calculating your inventory versus a turnover. Now, this probably all sounds like gibberish to you because if you're not good at math, you probably don't care. There's software out there that could help you with math. There are people, like what Dev said, that could help you with math. And as an entrepreneur, there is one trait that a lot of entrepreneurs have, and is the idea of being creative all the time. So if you're not good at math, you could find creative solutions around it. Hiring the right people. If you don't have enough money to hire the right people yet, you could barter. You could barter some of your services. For example, when I first started out as a coach, I did a lot of free lessons, and I would barter. So if I wanted some kind of service back, I was like, well, can you help me with my writing because I hate writing. I know Dev is an author, but like for me to write a book would be the worst thing ever. But I could barter my services. I'll give you a free coaching session if you help me write this paragraph. And it works out beautifully. So always finding creative solutions will help you get there too.
Oh, that's a very creative answer and creative way of bartering these services, Lily. Very smart.
It's the Indian in me, always bargaining and bartering.
The roots.
Exactly. Okay, second question, Jeff. I know this one's your favorite, you're telling me. So I'm excited to get to that one. It comes from Tanya. So she says, it's so hard as a small business to say no to people who don't want to pay full price for my service because I have bills to pay. How do you say no and wait for the right fit? Yeah, this is a hard one. Mm-hmm.
Well, it's really interesting as well. So, Tanya, great question, first of all. And let me just, backtrack a little bit. There are so many entrepreneurs who are facing and struggling the similar challenge because when we start a business, we even, cling on to every small opportunity, every small deal that we have. But if you go to see, there's some, so 80% of your business will come from 20% of your client. There's an 80-20 rule in marketing and sales as well, right? There's one more example that, and it's a universal law, 80-20 universal law. So if you focus on those 20%, if you serve them really well, your 80% of business will come from there. And other way around, your 20% of your customers are the pain in the wrong place 80% of the time, right? So if you get rid of those 20%, your pain, the challenges will go away. Remember the clients who are really demanding or commanding, they never take anything, for an answer. They're never satisfied. No matter what you do, even if you bend over backward, they would still have some complaint or cribbing. Now, as a person, if I'm starting a business, I do not have so much choice. So what is the solution now? The solution is, number one, you need to have a huge pipeline. Here's again some statistics, right? I'm really fond of 80-20, 90-10, right? So my book also is 80% mindset, 20% skills, so Pareto theory. So the traditional businessmen, what they do is they try and sell 90% of the time and only focus 10% of the effort in marketing. Whereas the genius, the smart businesses, they actually focus 90% of the stuff which is for free, the marketing, targeting the huge audience, doing a lot of sales funnels, and only 10% of selling. Now, here's the reason why. Because if you, as an entrepreneur, if you're providing enough value and service to somebody, you're providing, let's say, free ebook, you're doing free webinar, you're doing coaching, you're doing consulting, you're doing, YouTube videos, you're doing blogging. There's so many things that you can provide to that person. And the day when you decide to, offer some service which costs them something, they will cling on to it quickly because they have been following you for some time. Some time, your chances of getting more deals is high. Now, why am I going through this? Marketing is really essential for any business, because if you're not branding yourself, you're not marketing yourself as a celebrity authority. That's what, some of the gurus say, that if you're not a celebrity authority in your field, then you are at the mercy of your clients. Probably your pipeline is pretty small and you're not closing those. And if you're not really good at sales, your conversion is small, then you're just left with a handful of the client, and you will be always at their mercy, that, hey, you will be begging and pleading that, hey, give me more business. I will do anything that I can. And then what happens is you're no longer an entrepreneur. You become a self-employed employee of your own, and you get tangled in your own business, right? So you never want to end up in that situation. Having said that, whatever I'm just telling you, it is not easy for sure, right? If it had been easy, then all the entrepreneurs, everybody in the world, would have been just doing marketing 90% of the time and selling 10%. So first, you need to sit down and identify, okay, what is it that I can provide as value to my client? And I'm going to give you one more example. There's one workshop which is coming up in Pune, India, which is around how you can build your business around passion, right? It's about financial freedom, how to get out of the rat race, or how to build your parallel streams of income around your passion. So, I have a group called Passionpreneurs. That I've just announced the workshop, and I already have, like, 10 or 15 people already registered, and they're already excited for the event. It's, I'm not going to have more than 50 people. So you can imagine, by just launching it, I already have 15, people joining, which is 30% of my room is already full without me doing any marketing, spending even one dime on the promotions. So within the next few weeks, it's going to be house full. People are, flying from different cities, and they're coming, bringing their friends together. Why? Because I have done 90% of my work on marketing, providing value. There's only the 10% is where I need to convince them to come to work. Hell, I don't even have to convince most of those guys, right? It's only remaining people who probably don't know my value. I'll have to do them, do more convincing there. Now, if I have to take that business to a next level, of course, I'm not at mercy of those people who are really, troublemakers. So I will choose my own clientele. I will work only with people who have the right mindset, who are really committed, right? Now again, probably I'm talking a lot, but it is my favorite topic. So there are three aspects when it comes to clientele, ideal clientele, right? Again, I also learned from some of the gurus who I'm following, some of like Dan Locke and Evan Carmichael's and everybody, business gurus. So they said that which kind of clientels that you want to have the high paying clients, or I mean, I forgot the second one, but the third one is highly committed clients. You do not want to have high paying client necessarily, because if they're high paying, not necessarily they'll be highly committed as well. But if you go at the high committed, you know for sure they will they will get more result, and more results they have, you will have more reference stories, and you will use that customer, and you will leverage that relationship to up the package or bring more customer in. So I always want to look for highly committed and not highly paying clients, because my success rate will only come when I'm working with the highly committed. It's like going to a gym, right? Would you want to have a high paying client who does not do the repetitions or who does not show up every day? Or I would rather have a person who's not paying me high, but he's highly committed. I know the highly committed person will get more results. So as a coach in the gym or trainer, I want to have highly committed client. So summarizing the long gyan or chat, number one, have the pipeline full. Number two, focus on 90% of the marketing and giving, only 10% of closing. Number three, only look for the highly committed clients so that you do not have to worry about those pain in the butt people. I said it, it's okay. All right, so that's my thought, Lily. What do you think?
Oh, I love it. I think you touched upon everything that I believe in too. I think it's important not to try to convince people, because you're going to lose them right away, bending over backwards. And worst part is getting into the price war game and being at the lowest cost. It's not sustainable, and I would never suggest anyone do it. So one of the things that I want to share with you and share with Care Nation as well, I have clients. I have coaching clients that come through, they do one-off sessions with me because they want to find out about different marketing, about their entrepreneurship journey, or sometimes they just require a lot of inner work that needs to be done. So I have a thing called the 24-hour mission at the end of every single coaching session. What it is we come up with an assignment that they have to do within 24 hours. And it takes a lot of commitment. It takes commitment from my part because I have to hold them accountable. And it takes commitment from their part because they have to actually do it and then send me the results. Now, I found there is a direct correlation between the people who have completed the 24-hour mission and people who become my ongoing client. Because they're already so committed, they come back. The people who don't do it, they don't come back. So in a way, I also use that as a filter. So would I really want a client who's not willing to commit themselves to do something within the next 24 hours? So I use it as a filter, and they also use it as a way to make themselves feel confident that they're committed to the work that was required to do. Because you and I both know that entrepreneurship is extremely hard, and it takes a massive amounts of dedication. So I do it too. So I have little filter built in to kind of, talking about like who's going to be a pain in the ass and who's going to actually commit. I have a filter built into my coaching sessions.
Oh, that's great. Let's do a high five to
that. Yeah, there you go. Okay, next one. That was a really good question. Really good one.
Question. I love
that. Second one comes from Tommy. How do I find new professional friends who know more than you? I'm assuming he meant him. More than him, and that are already successful?
Oh, good question. Tommy, there are few ways. So there are two criteria. Number one is somebody in your field who is successful already, right? How to find those people and who are already successful, right? Like-minded people and successful. Is that the question? Okay. All right. So there are few places within your cities where number one, you would have people who are rich, you will hang out, right? So again, not necessarily they will be from your same background, but again, those will be the people who will be probably 10 times or 100 times better than you. Those are some elite clubs. Join some clubs. Those are really, really good place. Charity events are really good. And anything which requires a lot of investing and money, golf, people who are really rich, that's a rich people sport. That's what people probably tag golf as. So have those hobbies or join those clubs. Even if you have to shell extra money, do not hesitate, because that is your investment on yourself and on your relationship. That will take your game to probably 100 times better. There are other places which I also still believe are really good places to attend some of the workshops, seminars, where you will have a like-minded community. Now, the argument there would be, but hey, there would be people who would be somewhat like me who wants to learn. Not necessarily. I have seen people who are really successful, probably 10 times better than you or me. They still attend that seminar because they understand the value of learning every single day. I know Dan Locke, and I was following his video. I really like that guy, so you'll hear a lot of example from Dan as well. So Dan, when he was already successful and he was selling his products from the stage for, thousands and thousands of dollars. At that time, he would go and buy everybody's products himself, no matter how bad it is. People will say, Dan, you're selling products, you have knowledge much more than us, why are you buying this? The answer to that is, the reason why I'm successful is because of that. It's not because I'm successful so I should not buy the products. It's the other way around. So if you're successful, you should be in those seminars and workshop more, and you will have people who are probably better than you. Probably you will end up doing joint ventures there, right? Somebody has some other services, you have your own clientele, but it's probably, complementing your services, right? Probably, let's say you're in sales and somebody you meet, he's in copywriting. If you send your clientele the email and you do a joint venture with the copywriting person, you get a percentage share from there. So it's a win-win situation, right? You're sending more your clients to him and he's giving you money. It could be other way around as well. So it's a great place to do a joint venture, to discuss different strategies. That's a better way to do it. The third option is join some mastermind, what do you call it, the program, right? There is mastermind program for everything, right? The trainers mastermind, the entrepreneur mastermind, different masterminds. If it is paid, it's even better, because that's where you will find the people who are really, really serious. When they made the payment, it automatically comes to, as a human being, that I have invested money, I need to recover, I need to get the best out of it. So join those mastermind groups, and that's where you will have a lot of people. And whatever you would have done, probably being a single solo entrepreneur, you would reduce that cycle by probably 1/3 or 1/5 by just joining those masterminds. One creative idea would actually solve a lot of your problems, because they might have gone through the same thing or going through the same thing. So these are three things I would suggest to hang out with Tommy.
I just have an observation.
Mhm.
Is Dan Locke also Canadian?
Yeah, he is from Vancouver.
You see, Dev, you love your Canadians.
I love
I'm Canadian. Evan Carmichael's Canadian. Dan Locke is Canadian.
Yes, a lot of Canadians for sure.
And that's the thing, your professional friends don't have to be in person. It could be someone online. I have never met Dev in person before, but he and we have a great relationship. We exchange ideas. There's lots of things that we can do. And also, you have never met Evan physically in person, but you have done a lot of work with him. And now, see, that's the thing. I think the world has grown so much that you don't necessarily need to be anywhere physically. So there's lots and lots of options. I know that you have given so many options. I think the part that I will add to that is, once you're actually there at these events, is for Tommy, yes, it's for Tommy to make sure that you feel confident in yourself to reach out to people. Because I think that's where I have struggled with this before. I would go to these networking events and I wouldn't feel like myself. I would feel like, well, I'm approaching someone who's like way above, who's not even in the same pay grade as me. How can I ever provide any value? And I do want to let you know, the Tommy, know that you could always find ways to add value. It doesn't have to be directly in what it is that they're doing, but maybe something you could always help them out. So a little bit of research goes a long way, and feel confident that you can help. So that's just one thing to add to what you already said. They were all really, really good options.
Yeah, I like your suggestion. Most of the time, people what they do is they actually when they go to networking event, most of them they're notorious when they just all they do is pull out their visiting card and they say, "Hey, here's what I do. Let me know if there's anything that you can do, do for me, or if you have anything for me." That's not really a good way of approaching anybody in networking event. It's like approaching a girl, say, "Hey, your place or my place," on the first dialogue.
Oh, that's terrible.
It's a terrible example, right?
That's not how we do things in Canada. Is that what you guys do in India now?
No, it
So
never happened in India like that. But yeah,
it's a terrible example. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, but the same thing, right? When you go to a networking event, what are you doing? You
Yeah,
don't know
yeah,
me, I don't know you. Here's my card. Let's hang out. Let's do
yeah,
business. Business doesn't happen that way. It's just like,
yeah.
I know it's a weird example, but let's roll with that for now. All right. So focus on knowing that person, understanding the person, what that person does, and think of one thing or two things that you can do to add value without any expectation. Because your relationship would be built over a period of time. And moment you start with your selfish motive, you're just going to shoot yourself in the foot. Okay. So just keep that in mind, just to chime into Lily's point.
Okay, beautiful. Okay, so we're on to the last question now. The last question is it's from Felix. Say there was an international language and English wasn't it. Would you set up a local business or rather an international business regardless of the business idea?
Hmm.
That's a
Interesting.
very interesting, complex question. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very interesting question. So Felix, I would say, why don't we do both, right? But again, you have to check which market is bigger and less competitive for you, right? I see in India there are so many trainers and coaches who are doing a lot of sessions and training and educational stuff in Hindi, in our local language. It's already overcrowded. With every fifth person you will meet, that, "Hey, I'm a life coach and I'm doing this." Nothing wrong in that if they're making living out of it, but that's not me. It doesn't resonate well with me. First, I want to target an audience which is, number one, somewhat relevant to what I have been doing, right? For people. So in short, who am I catering to? I'm catering to people who are English speaking audience, working in corporates, who are looking to build passive source of income and who want to become an entrepreneur. It is completely aligned to my life graph as well. And people who want to become unstoppable or really want to stay pumped up and you want to do more and exploit their potential, it's completely aligned to me because I was that person. Now, is the language a decision maker or barrier for me? I would say no. If the need be, if they ask me to talk in Hindi, I would talk in Hindi for a speaking engagement or something. If there is somebody who needs something in Hindi and if they need some information, I would share that as well. But my primary focus is only on the people who are people like me, English speaking crowd in India, because I know that's a big niche and big gap which needs to be filled. Everybody's either focusing on the entrepreneurs who have a lot of money but who don't have English speaking ability, or they're more local, or they're just focusing on people who are like students and they're just upcoming and they're focusing more on Hindi there. So there's a gap in between. What about the people working class, right? People who are starting their they have been in job for a few years and now they want to build a passive source of income. What about them? So there's, I don't remember anybody who's like expert in India catering to that specific category. So for me, that really works. To your, I don't know what business you are in, you need to do the same thing for you, right? Where is the bigger market? Is it really competitive? Then probably you want to, analyze, and what is it that is aligned to you and your values and your situation. Because look, I cannot teach somebody to build multi-billion dollar business or multi-million dollar business unless I have done it, right? So I will only talk from my experience, and I only share my experience and how am I transforming. Now I can teach a lot of people on how to write a book, right? Because I've done it, right? I can teach a lot of people how to be a great salesperson. I can teach people how to be a great social media expert or build sales funnels because I'm doing it myself, and there are very few people in India doing it. So you have to, decide, number one, what is your unique selling or unique proposition? Number two, is it really dependent on the language? If so, which is the bigger market, and where there's less competition, so you can, grasp the niche, right? As Grant Cardone says, if you're not first, you're last, right? So see the areas where you can be the first by not just being the first, but also being the biggest, right? So that's where you need to focus your channel, your strategy, and then define which one suits you. Again, if it if you're good at both, why don't you do both, right? You don't have to say this or that. You can have two different YouTube channels. You can do two different seminars on different languages, like Canadian Prime Minister. So he is doing the message on LinkedIn. He's big on LinkedIn. He is doing the English messages, and he's doing on French as well. He has both the audience and is catering to both, right? So he cannot say, hey, I'll only talk to English and I'll only talk to French. He is the prime minister. So think that you are the prime minister of your own life, and you want to serve the whole country, whole nation, or you want to just stick to one language speaking audience. So that's my answer.
Yeah, I like it. The prime minister of your life. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. And you know what? Yeah, it's true. If you want to look at it from a place of how you can scale your business, the more people you can reach, the better. If you speak two languages, three languages, four languages, you could reach more people. It depends on how much of an impact you really want. Some people only want to impact their local community. Right here in Toronto, we have restaurants that are 100% local. They will only source from their local farms. They only source from the local butchers, and they want to keep it very local because they're not interested in going huge and scaling their business. But if you want to scale your business, you leverage everything. If your strength is you speak multiple languages, or you're able to appeal to different types of people. I'm a speaker. I'm also an entrepreneur, and also been through a lot of personal things in my personal life, and then which kind of makes me the authority to speak in terms of doing the inner work, because I've been through it myself, like Dev. So always leveraging multiple strengths if you can, unless it goes against your business model or your vision, which is keeping it local. So that's what I think too.
Yeah, no, that's a good example as well. It's completely resonates well. So
Mhm.
all right, so we're done with the questions. We
Yes.
have some comments in the chat box, so let's just quickly address that. Omkar, he says that I am 12. I am not able to focus on studies. Okay. What are you doing on YouTube? You're 12. Go pick up the book. No, but I really appreciate Omkar that you're tuning in. You're saying that you're 12. You're not able to focus on studies. What do you have to say, Lily, to Omkar? He's saying that please help. Half of the time is on YouTube. So, okay, so he's struggling with the challenge that he's not focusing on studies. He's half the time on YouTube. What
Uh,
is your suggestion to Omkar?
when I was 12, thank goodness there was no YouTube. That's what I'm really thankful for. And you know what? YouTube is an interesting place because you could learn a lot from YouTube. You could get extra information about whatever it is that you're studying on YouTube. You just have to be very, very disciplined. You have to be disciplined in only spending time on YouTube for a specific time, and which means you might have to set aside some time. Just say, I'm going to spend half an hour on YouTube today, and that's it. And you're going to put it far, far away. And you have to, I don't know what else to say, but you have to be disciplined. If you don't have the discipline right now at the age of 12, when you're 35, I'm almost there. When you're 35, and I'm an entrepreneur, I build my own business. I could do whatever I want. I could set my schedule whatever I want. So I could potentially lie around and do nothing, but it takes immense amount of discipline to actually grow your business. So if you start the habit now, being disciplined just with YouTube, you're going to build a muscle to be able to do whatever it is that you want in the future.
I agree with that. So, yeah, just to add to that point, yes, YouTube definitely is not a bad thing. It depends on what you consume on YouTube. If you're tuning in this show, good job. At the age of 12, at the age of 12, if you're listening to what we are saying, which is business, entrepreneur, we're talking sense, and we're not talking about the entertainment and not talking about the cats and dogs and funny videos. If you're consuming this kind of content on YouTube, trust me, it's going to help you. Okay. I regret, Lily is happy that it was not, YouTube was not there, but I'm feeling bad that why YouTube was not there when I was studying, because the things which I have learned from YouTube today, it has just opened the whole world for me, right? So, just a while back, Lily mentioned about my Canadian connection and, people I really love in Canada. I'm learning so much from them, right? If the YouTube was not there, I don't know what I would have done. So take YouTube as a blessing and just focus on, as Lily mentioned, just have certain hours in your schedule that, hey, only this hour I'm going to use YouTube, and only for my personal development purpose. Doesn't mean that you would not, watch some funny videos. You can do that at your age. If you're not doing it right now, when would you do it? At the age of 50 or 60? I don't think so. Your teeth will fall off laughing by laughing laughing at the YouTube videos. But anyways, this is your age. You should have fun. Do not take life as serious as you're taking. For sure, studies is important. For sure, your formal education is important. At the same time, if you can club your formal education with the real practical example and you can relate to both the world, that's going to be amazing. So part of the learnings or teaching which I have for my followers is I tell them that whatever you've been taught in school was just one lane. You need to open your horizon and you need to look at, okay, what are the other possibilities? Again, 90-10 formula. 90% of the people I've met in job, they only have one stream of income. And that is really, really heartbreaking, because when the time goes tough, I have seen a lot of layoffs happening in a couple of my companies, and people are really, really struggling to, meet the, have the ends meet. Why is that? Because the traditional education system has told us that, hey, take the degree, go to a job, become a better employee, and then step by step try and climb the ladder one by one. Not saying anything is, it's good, but at the same time, what it's not telling you that there are 100 more ways that you can get rich and make money and have passive streams of income. Those other 100 ways, you need to learn from the real practical world, from people like Lily, Evan, Dan Law, Grant Cardone, Gary Vee. You need to reach out to those, right? So your school after school is YouTube. Okay, remember this. School after school is YouTube. If you keep that in mind, I know Lily is laughing. So if you remember that statement, trust me, the YouTube is going to give you much fruitful results, and it will no longer be a distraction. Even if it becomes a distraction, and even if you're just scoring passing marks in school, and if you're really excellent in other areas in your life, you will still be better off than 50% of the people. Having said that, do not neglect studies. Make sure that you're doing your best there. At the same time, you're learning and practicing, rehearsing, getting rich on YouTube as well.
Yeah. Okay. I like it. I like it.
School after the school, Lily.
I was just not because I was thinking about when I was 12. I was 12, I didn't have any discipline. So I'm thinking that if I had YouTube, oh my God, I would spend all day on YouTube.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what I was thinking. School after school. Yeah, I like it.
So great question. So thank you for tuning in. I think we are already up on our mark, but we'll just say hello to everybody. Hello, I am FAK, love from Pakistan. Lily, say hello to our Pakistani friend.
Hello.
All right, and we have Sugam. Thank you for joining, Sugam. I
Thank
want to
you.
help someone. Okay, yes, go out there and help, brother. There are so many people who are looking for help. When and me and Lily, we were just talking about my Care Nation street vendors videos, right? So yeah, I'm sure probably you have subscribed to our channel because of that, through that. So if you have the intention to help people, just go out there and do it, man. Whatever you can, give your time, little bit money, or whatever you can, give it to the people, and everything will come back to you. Akhil says, can person start YouTube channel without experience in their profession? Good question. What do you have to say, Lily? Can somebody start a YouTube channel if they do not have experience in their profession?
Yes, absolutely. So there are a couple of ways of doing it. I think there's a lot of value in starting a YouTube channel and documenting your journey. So if you're not 100% experienced yet, don't worry. You don't want to come across like you know something when you actually don't. If you're still learning, document the process. And people are going to learn from your process and you're going to help a lot of people. So you don't necessarily have to be an expert yet, but also you don't have to pretend to be. You can always document your journey. So 100%. Start right now. Start today. It's not
Mhm.
that hard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's easy. I remember we spoke about our first experience on going live on YouTube videos or doing our videos. So we always had that butterfly in stomach. But
Yeah.
hey, nothing should hold you back. Yes, as I completely agree with Lily that don't have to be perfect and guru in your field or expert in your profession. At the same time, do not be a pretender because people have a great sensor which detects the bullshit pretty quick.
Yeah, no, it's true. And I don't like to focus too much on the negative, but there's a lot of that going on in the world that we live in. So, and people know it's not real. So document the process and people are going to fall in love with you. And when you do become an expert, because eventually if you do it for 5, 10 years, you become an expert and people are there from the beginning, they're going to love you even more.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, I completely agree with that. Like, I had a choice that, to become an expert in certain field and then start my YouTube channel or start 2 years back, which I did, and I'm glad that I did. Otherwise, I wouldn't have thousands of followers that I have, and my workshop would never been full. So, good question. Okay, so final hello to Ibrahim Khan, Akash. Thank you so much for joining. So I think that's all for the day. Akhil says it's like sharing your stuff again in my channel. Okay, yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And just a quick reminder, I have two announcements, and probably Lily also may have something, I don't know. But two announcements. Number one, the book is coming up, the 80% Mindset, 20% Skill. I'm really excited that people like Lily, Evan, and Dan Log, they're reviewing it, and I cannot wait to get their feedback and share it with you guys. So that's number one. It's going to be launching pretty soon by the end of the month. So do watch out for that. I take it as a challenge that it's a life transformation in 9 days, right? That's the formula I put together by studying the millionaires and billionaires like Evan and Mike, Dan, and all. So watch out for that. Number two, we are doing a live workshop in Pune around how you can build your financial freedom, how you can have multiple streams of income on passion, around passion, right? Because I've seen a lot of people who've been in the industry, who've been in the job, but they have only one source of income. So I have done it in my life, I've implemented in my life, and I want to share my formula. So come and spend whole day with me, and it's at the cost of just a buffet, man. Just come and have buffet with me and just have good time, and I'm sure I will out deliver than most of my programs.
Amazing, amazing. I love it. I'm actually really excited to read Dev's book. I do have a copy of it. I have the advanced copy and I feel really privileged to have that. So that's my announcement. I get to read Dev's book.
Yay!
Yay! I know. I can't wait. I can't wait. And I would want to put some of my input in it as well.
Thank you so much for doing this, Lily. It
Yeah.
really means a lot to me.
Mhm.
All right, guys, thank you so much. And we will see you next week. And if you have any questions, do not forget to reach out to us and share it in the comment box. And we promise that we will answer your business and entrepreneur related question in coming week. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, guys. See you next week.
All right, see ya. Bye bye.